Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey guys, what's going on? It is, by the time you're listening to the show, it's going to be Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of the Drew Yari Show. I am your host, Drew Yari. Why am I talking like that? Jeez. How's everybody's weekend? Or how was everyone's weekend? Mine was alright. On Saturday, I watched the Paige movie. I mean, it has a title, Fighting With My Family. I just call it the Paige movie. It was probably what you thought it would be. Basically, the movie was just a lot of fluff. A lot of fluff to make, Paige look not like a complete douche, if you will. They try to paint her in this, positive light. It's a weird movie because you look at the stars that are in it. You got Vince Vaughn, who's a very well-known name. And you're wondering, how did WWE convince Vince Vaughn to be in one of their shit movies? And then you have The Rock, of course, because The Rock produced it with his his movie company called what was it called? I think his movie company's called Seven Bucks Productions or something like that. And you got the guy who plays her dad. I forget his name. He was in Shaun of the Dead. He's been in a lot of movies with Simon Pegg, actually. He was in something else. I think it was called Hot Fuzz. And then you got her mom, who's the chick from Game of Thrones. I forget her name. She was also in the first Purge. She played Ethan Hawke's wife, which Kevin Castle can back me up on that. The chick who played Paige, I don't know anything about her. I've literally never heard of her. I believe she was like a stage actor. Like a theater actor or whatever, and then for whatever reason, she was able to be convinced to play Paige. Which I don't know. It still baffles me that they made a movie about Paige. It's like, I mean, it doesn't help that they decided to cut everything else out that's pertains to her sex tape. But the one thing that I thought was kind of weird was that they didn't even mention that she was the first ever NXT Women's Champion. Like, how do you not mention that? Like, that should be something that's a positive thing. I understand if you want to cut out the sex tape, okay. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, you're gonna watch that going, mm-hmm. But to completely, run over the fact that she was the first ever NXT Women's Champion. Like, come on. I'll give a brief review. I'm not going to go through too much of it. So basically how it starts out is that, Paige, she actually did say this before, because I haven't watched the actual Fighting With My Family documentary about Paige. After the movie, they showed real clips from it where she said she didn't like wrestling and she thought it was boring, and then one night her dad was, I guess, short a wrestler, so he needed her to wrestle. And after her first match, she fell in love with it, and then she became a wrestler, and then when she was 18 or 19, that's when she got called up, by WWE to come try out for NXT. So she goes to NXT, and she ends up meeting these three girls, which obviously they weren't going to use real wrestlers, like wrestlers that we know. I mean, yeah, they had The Rock, they had Stone Cold, they had The Miz, and, Sheamus and Big Show who had a scene where they're fighting over carbs or whatever. She meets these three girls in NXT, and they're all supposed to be, titty and jiggly models, like Paige says. I'm looking at these girls, I'm like, who are they supposed to be? The main girl, I think her name is Madison or something. I'm assuming she's supposed to be Charlotte. Just judging by her ring attire, and she's blonde. Another girl, by her ring attire, I think she's supposed to be Alexa Bliss. Because Alexa Bliss, before she became Alexa Bliss, she would come to the ring and literally, kiss or blow glitter at the crowd. So I'm assuming that's supposed to be like an Alexa Bliss type character. And then another chick, I was confused. I didn't know if she was supposed to be Eva Marie or Sasha Banks. So I was confused. But yeah, these three girls who, they didn't want to be wrestlers. They came in because they thought it looked cool. And they were all, they were dancers or cheerleaders or models or whatever. And then Paige, her whole shtick is, I'm a real wrestler. I give receipts and blah, blah, blah. There's a scene where she's wrestling with one of the girls, and one of the girls accidentally hits her in the face. So she hits her right back and says, hey, where I come from, if you bought your move, that's a receipt. And then, Vince Vaughn's character tells her, we don't do receipts here. This is WWE. This isn't, some podunk, backwoods, independent, wrestling company. This is an actual wrestling company. Which basically shows how much WWE thinks of independence. So basically, the whole point of the movie is to make her character kind of look like an asshole. They make her look like an asshole, make her look likable at the same time, and at the same time, they kind of make her look stupid. I don't know, but so another premise of the movie is that her and her brother are having a feud because they both get called up to WWE to have a tryout match. Or, I don't know if it's a trial. Well, it wasn't a trial match. It was just a tryout to train. And, the story behind her brother is that he'd been wrestling for 13 years, I guess. And him and Paige get called in, and only Paige gets chosen. And then she tells him, tells Vince Vaughn's character, if I'm coming, so does he. And he tells her pretty much, you have 5 seconds to decide if you want this or not. And then as soon as she gets the one, okay, I want it. So her brother has to stay behind, and he kind of resents her for it. So that's kind of the whole storyline of the whole movie is that, he's jealous. And, there's a scene where Vince Vaughn is telling, Paige or Soraya, I guess, I don't know, I'm just going to call her Paige, I don't give a fuck. He's talking to Paige and telling her, the reason why we didn't choose your brother is because he's not a star. He's a journeyman. He's a guy that makes the other guys look good, and he's basically telling a story about himself that was him. That he was just the guy to make the other guys look good. And, he proceeds to talk about how, The Rock threw him off a steel cage so he can make The Rock look good. And, there you go. That's Vince Vaughn's character story, that he used to be a wrestler that made the other guys look good. And he apparently made The Rock look good by letting The Rock throw him off a cage. And then The Rock's character is that he supposedly has been keeping tabs on Paige. That, that one scene that they showed in the first trailer where they meet in the back, that's in the movie. There's a funny line where Vince Vaughn comes out of nowhere and goes, hey, you're supposed to be trying out. What are you talking to The Rock for? Are you a Make-A-Wish kid or something? So, that was funny. I think I don't know if that was to take a shot at the whole Make-A-Wish thing or if this is, I don't know, but I just thought that was kind of funny. So, anyways, there's a scene where Paige, I guess, realizes her look doesn't go with people because I guess, they were starting out NXT in the movie, which, okay. So they bring out the 4 girls, including Paige, and they decide to have everybody talk. And then Paige tries to talk, and everyone starts booing her because she looks different. So Paige decides to dye her hair blonde, and they're trying to do some weird beach workout decathlon thing, and she sucks at it. And Vince Vaughn tells her, "Go home. You don't belong here." So she comes home and decides and works a show for her parents against her brother, and her brother goes off script. And Tombstone pile drives her sister without telling her, pins her, and goes to the back. They argue. They're able to find each other. And, Dak tells her, I've always wanted something, and then your little sister takes it away. Or, how would you feel if you wanted something since you were 3, and then your little sister takes it away, and she doesn't even want it in the first place? So that strikes a chord with her. And then she convinces him, you're not all bad, you're teaching a blind kid how to wrestle. So there you go. Zach learned his lesson. So she goes back to NXT, and then she returns to her old look, and she learns how to wrestle the WWE style, and learns how to wrestle with the Girls' War, and they end up having a match on NXT, which is literally the only fucking match of the show in NXT. And what's it called? They do a suicide dive, and I guess that's it, and they all get invited to WrestleMania. The Rock personally invites Paige to his dressing room. Wink, wink. I'm playing that doesn't happen. I wish it happened. And he calls her parents and tells them personally that your daughter is being invited to the main roster, and she's going to wrestle the Divas champion AJ Lee, which is played by Zelina Vega. They call her AJ Lee. They give her music, and they give her the lines that she said when she fought Paige the night after Mania. So the very next night on Raw, Paige is nervous, and she talks to Zach, and they work things out. Goes out and wrestles Paige, wins title, and at the end they show like captions where it says Paige was responsible for starting the women's revolution, which we'll get into in a bit. And, they completely didn't even show the fact that she had to retire at age 25 because of a neck injury. So, yeah. And then they just showed clips from Fighting With My Family, the actual documentary that you can find on YouTube, actually. So yeah, that was the Paige movie. I basically just put on Twitter, this is a movie I don't think should have been made. I don't get why it was made. I mean, it's getting good reviews. If I had to guess, it's by people that don't know anything about wrestling. They're either casual wrestling fans, or they don't, pay attention to, the news sites and what's really going on with Paige. I wouldn't tell someone they're stupid if they like the movie. If someone said, hey, I watched the Paige movie, I thought it was really good, I'm not going to say, oh, well, you know what? No, that's not me. If they want to if someone wants to like a movie, they can like a movie. I don't care. But my whole thing is, I'm just, being honest here. Who's ever, the people that are giving this movie a good review, they haven't done their homework on Paige. And we have. I'm not saying we're smarter than you. I'm not saying I'm smarter than you because I've done my homework on Paige. I'm just saying, if you were a diehard wrestling fan and you actually paid attention to the dirt sheets and you read what was going on, if you just type in Paige, WWE star Paige or wrestler Paige, a shit ton of shit will pop up. And if you go to Pornhub, you will find a playlist dedicated specifically to her. So, there's all that. But, the movie was okay. For a WWE film, it was pretty good. Usually the WWE films are insufferable. There's only been very few good WWE films. I think Walking Tall was a WWE film, and that's a film I can go back and watch every now and then. It's pretty good. And then what is it? The Marine. The Marine was just bad. I just remember my parents actually watched The Marine, no lie, and my mom just goes, so this guy gets stabbed, he gets shot at, he's in explosions, he gets run over, and he doesn't have a scratch on him. Well, that was John Cena for you. What other WWE films were out there? I'm gonna look this up real quick. Hold on. Come on, dude. Really? Come on. Hurry that shit up. Come on. Gamma. Okay, there you go. Alright, WWE Studios film. Come on, dude. WWE Studios. Alright, Wikipedia. Let's go to Wikipedia. Good old Wikipedia. Alright, let's look at the WWE Studios films. Alright, Alright, a lot of these are films that WWE Studios, I guess, had a hand in. But a lot of them were distributed by different studios. But I'm just going to read off the list. The Scorpion King, the first Scorpion King. Yeah, classic. I mean, it wasn't like the greatest movie you ever watched in your life, but it was a good movie. I liked it. I actually remember my sisters taking me out of school. Or no, they took me to go watch this movie instead of taking me to school, which I thought was pretty rad. Well, we watched this and I loved it, and then they ended up spawning like 600 other Scorpion King movies, which was just like, please, like, stop, you're ruining this movie. The Rundown, another. I'm looking at Scorpion King, The Rundown, and Walking. Scorpion King and The Rundown were both distributed by Universal Studios, but they both have the WWE entertainment shtick to it. Yeah, The Rundown I thought was okay. I saw that with my dad. It was pretty good. Walking Tall, again, liked it. Distributor, Lionsgate. Oh, no. Distributor was MGM. See No Evil with Kane. Lionsgate, WWE Studios. See No Evil has become almost a pun in this household, because when me and my girlfriend first got together in 2012, or no, this is actually before that, she had asked, she wanted to watch See No Evil, apparently. And I wanted to see Role Models with Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd, and I love that movie. It's one of my favorites, one of my favorite comedies. And I gave her See No Evil, and she forgot to give me Role Models. She still has my fucking DVD of See No Evil, and she has still not fucking watched it. And I always grill her about that when I get the chance. And she's just like, eh. I'm like, just watch the fucking movie. Jesus. But, yeah, See No Evil. I mean, if you're a horror fan, if you like bad horror movies. I wonder if Texas Podcast Massacre has done a See No Evil review. I would love if they did that. Hey, Mitch and Nate, if you're listening, do it. I love those guys, by the way. I can't forget about Lisa, though. She's cool as fuck. The Marine with John Cena, 20th Century Fox, distributed by WWE Entertainment. It was what it was. I mean, it's kind of like a B action movie. It seems like a movie that could have came out in like the late 80s or early 90s. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Again, it spawned like 8 million other sequels. The Condemned with Steve Austin, that was bad. That was B-A-D, bad. I just remember the end with Stone Cold talking to Vinnie Jones. Sounds like you had a hard life. Good thing it's over. And then he shoots him right in the head. I'm like, bad movie. Behind Enemy Lines, Columbia with Mr. Kennedy. This went straight to DVD. Actually, The Condemned was the last theatrical film as WWE films. I think before Paige's movie. Alright, yeah. I never saw that, and for obvious reasons. And, I got that wrong, by the way. The Condemned was the last theatrical film as WWE Films. That's before they became WWE Studios. There you go. 12 Rounds of John Cena, never saw that. I mean, I think, you know what? I'll take that back. I saw like maybe the first 30 minutes of it, and I just went, this is basically just The Marine. It's like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. They're both the same movie. 12 Rounds and The Marine are the same fucking movie. And in both movies, he has a hot blonde girlfriend. Like, come on. The Marine 2 with Ted DiBiase Jr., straight to DVD. Never saw it for obvious reasons. Legendary with John Cena. I remember watching that. Oh yeah, in this, he's like his little brother who's like dangly. He's like skinny and dangly. He wants to be a world-class athlete. So John Cena plays like the estranged brother who got in trouble a lot and is trying to teach him how to be a collegiate mat wrestler. I think I remember that. Yeah, I didn't finish it. Knucklehead with the Big Show. I remember watching it and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was okay. But yeah, moving on. The Chaperone with Triple H, and the chick from Modern Family. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought it was okay. I mean, Triple H isn't... His whole thing is he just wants to wrestle. He doesn't care about being an actor, but... I mean, again, I thought it was alright. You know, don't shoot me in the face for it. That's what I am with Randy Orton. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even the star of the film. He just had, like, a small role, and I just remember that trailer constantly coming out, and Randy Orton's freaking line was, it's like, I'll report this to the papers if I have to. Because I remember the movie's about bullying, and Ed Harris plays a teacher who's supposedly gay. They think he's gay, and it comes out that he's not gay. They're just making up rumors about him because he's flamboyant. And Randy Orton's son is a piece of shit that tried to, I guess, rape a girl. Is that how the story went? And yeah, like, Randy Orton's just a piece of shit in the movie. And he just says, I'll take this to the papers if I have to. Yeah, that was an alright movie, but why is Randy Orton billed as a star? Inside Out with Triple H, I never saw that. The Reunion with John Cena. What the fuck is this movie about? Okay. The Reunion with John Cena. Alright. Ethan Embry. Why does that name seem so familiar? Ethan Embry. What the hell was he in? Oh, wait, is that the guy from... Is that the guy from Can't Hardly Wait? I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this. He looks familiar. I'm trying to think of what movie he was in. Okay, yeah, he was in Can't Hardly Wait. That's a movie I occasionally go back and watch. It's a cheesy '90s movie, but I like it. All right, Michael Rispoli. Who the hell is that? Oh yeah, I know who that is. Boyd Holbrook. Oh yeah, it's the guy from Logan. He was in Logan and Predators. He was also on Narcos, which I didn't watch, unfortunately. And then Amy Smart. We already know who Amy Smart is. Yeah, I didn't watch it. It looks like a piece of shit. Moving on. Bending the Rules with Edge. He made that movie right after he retired. I remember watching it, and you know, it was what it was. Him and Jamie Kennedy. Yeah, I didn't watch it. The Day. What the hell is The Day? The Day by Anchor Bay Films and WWE Studios. Who this have in it? Okay. Ashley Bell, Shannon Sossaman. Oh yeah, I know that chick. Ashley Bell. Dominique Monaghan, I know who that is. Shawn Ashmore, Iceman, and Corey Hardick. Don't know who that is. And why is this a WWE film? Who's in it that should really, like, want me to watch it? I guess no one's in it. Yeah, I guess no one's in it that's a wrestler. It's a post-apocalyptic film. Yeah, it looks like a piece of shit. Barricade. Who's in Barricade? The film stars Eric McCormick. It is the first film entirely produced by WWE to not feature a wrestler in any way. Okay. Moving on. The Marine 3 Homefront, starring The Miz. The star of the Miz franchise. I haven't seen it. I have, for obvious reasons. Dead Man Down. I remember Wade Barrett, like, hyping up this movie. It stars Colin Farrell and Terrence Howard, that piece of shit. He's in it for like 2 seconds. Or he just plays like a henchman or whatever. But The Call, that movie I remember watching. It's about a little girl. It's about like a serial killer who kidnaps women. He kidnaps this girl, and Halle Berry works for the police department. She's basically the operator that you call, and she tries to keep you on the line so she can get a hold of authorities. And David Otunga plays a police officer who's in this. That was pretty good. It was really intense though. No One Lives with Bortis Clay. Never seen it. Have no intention of seeing it. Queens of the Ring. What the hell is this? A French comedy film directed by Jean-Marc Rutnicki. The film is supported by WWE Studios. It supposedly has The Miz, CM Punk, and Eve Torres. I'm not even going to bother looking at it. 12 Rounds 2 Reloaded with Randy Orton. Meh. Christmas Bounty with The Miz and Paige. That I remember. Nope. Oh wait, no, that's a different movie. Christmas Bounty just has a Miz. Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery. No. Oculus, no. I fucking hate that movie so much. That has got to be the worst horror movie I've ever watched. Me and my girlfriend and her sister were watching it, and we were just pissed throughout the whole movie. It's just bad. Like, the plot, I guess, is interesting, but nothing ends up being solved. They basically just go back to doing the same shit that got them in trouble in the first place. It's just bad. It involves mirrors. That's basically the whole point of the movie. It's about mirrors. I sound like such a petty asshole. Alright, Road to Paloma with Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. Don't know anything about that. Leprechaun Origins starring Hornswoggle. No. See No Evil 2 with Kane. Danielle Harris. Ooh, I love me some Danielle Harris. Didn't see that. I might just have to watch it just because I like the first one. But Jingle All the Way 2 with Santino Marella starring Larry the Cable Guy. How dare they remake this classic, or how dare they give this classic a shitty sequel? I'm almost done, guys. I'll get to Smackdown in a bit. The Flintstones and WWE Stone Age Smackdown. Various voices, and I see on the cover John Cena, The Undertaker, Daniel Bryan, and the Bellatones, I believe. I'm not even going to bother looking at the plot or who's starting it. I just need to know what these films are. The Marine 4, Moving Target, starring The Miz and Summer Rae. Vendetta. Vendetta starring Dean Cain and The Big Show. Okay. They're in prison. Get ready for hell in a cell. I see the poster. That's why I'm saying that. 12 Rounds 2, or 12 Rounds 3, starring Dean Ambrose. I remember him talking about this on Jericho's podcast not so long ago. The Condemned 2, starring Randy Orton and Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts? Are you serious? Santa's Little Helper, starring The Miz and Paige. Meh. Again, meh. These are just bad films. Countdown, starring Kane, Dolph Ziggler, and someone named Catherine Isabel. Never saw it, for obvious reasons. Term Life, and I see on the poster Haley Steinfeld. Oh, that's interesting. And Vince Vaughn. Oh, Vince Vaughn was in a WWE film before. It says here it was distributed by Focus World. Scooby-Doo and WWE Curse of the Speed Demon. Who's in this? The Undertaker, and that's all they're showing. Interrogation with Edge and Lana. Yawn. Incarnate. Supposedly has Mark, or not supposedly, but it has Mark Henry play a role in it. Eliminators. Jesus Christ, there's so many fucking films. I'll try to speed through as fast as I can, guys. With Wade Barrett. Surf's Up 2, WrestleMania. The Resurrection of Gavin Stone, I remember that. Didn't see it, with Shawn Michaels. About that, I guess an ex-movie star got in trouble and he turned his life around and found Jesus. The Jetsons and Robo WrestleMania. I know Roman Reigns is that. The Marine 5 Battleground with Miz, Maurice, Heath Slater, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, and Naomi. I'm trying to talk as fast as I can. Slate. Didn't have anybody in it. Pure Country, Pure Heart with Shawn Michaels. It's about country music. I just remember they kept saying, "Your daddy," throughout the whole fucking trailer. Armed Response with Seth Rollins. And, Wesley Snipes. Birth of a Dragon. Don't know that. It's supposed to be about Bruce Lee, right? Killing Hasselhoff. What? Literally never heard of that. Killing Hasselhoff with Ken Jeong. Mohawk with Luke Harper. It's a horror film, a political horror film. Marine 6 Close Quarters with The Miz, Becky Lynch, and Shawn Michaels. Blood Brother with R-Truth. Never heard of that. And then Fighting With My Family, which just came out, which The Rock, Zelina Vega, and The Big Show. Right? Oh, and Sheamus. And there's going to be more. There's, again, I'm just going to speed through it because there isn't really anyone that's in it. The Buddy Games with Sheamus, The Fall Guy with The Rock, Long Shot, Cold Prey, Pandemonium, Untitled Gorgeous George Film, Bermuda, Breaking Kayfabe, Cruising for a Bruisin', The Call 2, Inside Out, Rideshare, and the main event. What's the main event supposedly going to be on Netflix? So there's every WWE film or WWE Studios film, affiliated film that I can find. Man, they released so many fucking films. Just films that were just not very good. And isn't that why the guy who supposedly, I guess, was in charge of WWE Studio Films, he quit? And the reason why he quit was because he said, I got an idea. Let's stop making shitty fucking movies. Like that's literally what he said. I'm not even kidding. But out of all those films, The Call was good. I like The Call. And then obviously the earlier stuff like Scorpion King and Walking Tall, Rundown, and I guess that was okay. I guess that's it. Fighting With My Family I thought was okay. I didn't think it was terrible, but as someone who knows Paige's career and knows what really went on in her life, I'm not saying I know Paige well. I'm just reading the headlines and what I've seen about her and what's been going on in her life for the past 3 years. It's you watch and you just go, "Yep, all this is bullshit." Yeah, so done with that. Again, if you want to see an interesting film, watch that. But I would say if you're a wrestling fan, you probably won't think it's bad, but you're gonna kind of watch it with a look on your face. If you're not really a wrestling fan, if you think the movie looks good and you never watched wrestling before, or you don't like wrestling, and you think the film looks good, you might enjoy it. All right, let's move on. Raw and SmackDown. Or actually, let's kind of stay on the movie topics for now. This literally just came up today, and this has been beaten to the ground for the past 2 years or almost 2 years. Disney and Fox merger reportedly clears final hurdles. Hurdles could close March 8th. On comicbook.com, the highly anticipated merger appears to be winding down, aiming for a closing date in early March. According to a new report from Bloomberg, the deal has secured approval from regulatory bodies in Brazil and Mexico, two of the last markets still prohibiting the deal. So that's the end of that. The Brazilian Securities Commission, reportedly agreed to the merger should Disney sell Fox Sports and its subsequent broadcast rights in the market. And what else are we looking at? A similar remedy is reported in Mexico, with Disney set to sell their rights to sell their sports channels there as well. It is not an expected move. The United States Department of Justice originally agreed to the $71 billion purchase only if Disney managed to sell all 22 of Fox's regional sports networks to a suitable buyer stateside. As the report shares, Cade is set to meet on Wednesday, February 27th, to finalize the approval. If approval should be granted as expected, Disney and Fox reportedly have a 10-day grace period to finalize paperwork and the like. This would end up putting the earliest close date on or about March 8th. The closing deal will be a welcome sight to fans of Marvel Studios and the ever-growing Marvel Cinematic Universe. With Disney purchasing Fox, that means the live-action rights to the entire catalog of X-Men and Fantastic Four characters revert back to Disney.
And it couldn't happen at a better time for the House of Mouse, blah, blah, blah. Launching their own streaming platform to compete with Netflix and Amazon. According to Kevin Feige, the studio's efforts on the streaming platform produce shows that closely tie into the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it would supposedly close on March 8th. Or before March 8th. And March 8th is when Captain Marvel comes out. And I read something earlier that, what's it called? Endgame will have a post-credit scene. And it will supposedly have something to do with X-Men. No, here's what I read. I'm going to correct myself. Is that if the deal were to close before the movie comes out, they're still going to have a post-credit scene regardless. But if the Fox deal would close, then that means the post-credit scene will have something to do with X-Men. They'll either have one or two. I would think they would have two. I mean, because it's Marvel. Come on. So this would mean that during this whole deal with Fox, Marvel filmed, I would like to think they filmed more than one post-credit scene and kept one on the back burner just in case, the deal, finished in time or not. Just to say, all right, just in case this deal goes through before the movie comes out, we already filmed this scene. If it doesn't, we'll just keep it on the back burner for now. We'll just put it on like the Blu-ray special edition thingy or whatever. So, how does that work? Like, it would get a post-credit scene and it has to do with the X-Men. The question is going to be, we're not going to find out until the actual movie comes out. But how will mutants be introduced now? Because the Infinity Stones have something to do with it. They have to have something to do with it. Because supposedly the movie's going to have a lot to do with time travel. And they're going to be changing a lot of shit around. So maybe that'll have something to do with it? I don't know. All I know is I'm got another fucking, what is it? It's February 26th. We got like 40-something days until Avengers Endgame comes out. Let me look that up. Let me look that up just to be sure. What is today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 33. It's 59 days. Jesus. Ugh. 59 days until the movie comes out. And this just came out. This actually came out, I think, the other day. Where supposedly the tickets for Endgame are coming out April 2nd. Give me 1 second and I will pull them up. Come on. Okay. Not coming. A post on Reddit indicates that tickets of Avengers Endgame will go on sale on April 2nd. The source is an alleged internal document from a theater chain that shows upcoming advance sales. The admittedly blurry photo shows several advance dates for upcoming major films, including Dumbo, Aladdin, Lion King. I thought there's a lack of major movies coming out around Avengers Endgame on that list, in part because most movies don't want to compete with the upcoming Marvel film. Well, I don't blame them. Alright, so I'm seeing Avengers Endgame April 2nd, and it's not showing what time they come out. So April 2nd, that'd be a Tuesday. If I had to guess, I would say the movie comes out. I would say the tickets are going to go on sale like at maybe 8 or 9 in the morning. Because I remember last year, that's what happened. They told you what date and what time they're going to come out. I believe it was like 8 or 9 in the morning. So, if that's the case, I'm just going to do what I did last year. I'm going to wake my ass up 15 minutes ahead of time. The second they come out, I'm going to buy them. We're going IMAX, baby. We're going big on this shit. And then, of course, we got our Captain Marvel tickets. We're going to see it the Thursday it comes out. And, there's a lot of controversy with Captain Marvel already. Is a lot of trolls are saying that it's a terrible movie and don't go see it. Blah, blah. Let me pull the article up right here. See if it takes its sweet-ass time with it. Okay, I got it. Rotten Tomatoes removes Captain Marvel anticipation score in response to trolls. Before the want-to-see metric was removed, Captain Marvel reportedly had a 29% rating. Those reviews reported as the audience rating the metric was, in fact, a score that monitored the percentage of fans who had interest in seeing the movie. Basically, an anticipation ranking of sorts. An audience rating isn't available until the movie has hit theaters. Yeah, I don't get why people are doing that, because I talked to Mish about this already. I just asked him, it just seems like you don't have a lot of high hopes over it. And I can understand where he's coming from. I kind of have some sentiments. I think it mainly has to do with the actress, Brie Larson, who I don't hate her. I know a lot of people have their opinions about her. I don't hate her. I mean, I can see where they're coming from. She kind of has this smugness about her. I mean, there was the whole thing when Stan Lee died. She basically just used Stan Lee's death to sell like jewelry or something, where she said, can't stop thinking about Stan Lee, R.I.P. I'm just like, probably should have worded that better. But I mean, I'm just gonna do what I usually do and just go into this with an open mind. I'm just gonna watch it, and I'll judge it by how good it is. I mean, that's my only beef with movies, is that I don't care what other movies you've done. I don't care if you're a shitty person. I just want you to pull off the fucking role. That's really all I care about. And she genuinely seems like she's having fun with the role. I mean, that's another, bonus. You look at the other Marvel actors, they love playing, their roles. Downey loves Iron Man to the point where I don't think he ever wants to let that character go as long as he lives. And you got Evans, who loves being Cap. Thor loves, Hemsworth loves being Thor. But, Brie Bella, I called her Brie Bella, fuck. Brie Larson looks like she's having fun being, Captain Marvel, and that's good. So, I'm going to go into this with an open mind, and if it's good, it's good. If it's, bad or mediocre, then, so be it. It looks like it could be a game changer, because you're introducing Skrulls into the MCU, and Skrulls, for the longest time, were not part of the MCU. I believe Skrulls were like a Fox thing, and now that you got the Fox deal, you can bring in Skrulls. Or I don't know if that was like a pre-planned thing. If because I remember Fox and Marvel Studios were trading off, rights. Like Fox would tell Marvel, or would tell Marvel Studios, okay, you can use these characters and these characters. Like they let them use Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, but they couldn't refer to them as mutants. So, which I thought was kind of weird. Supposedly Marvel owned the rights to the word mutant. And now, or not Marvel, Fox. Well, now Marvel does, but Fox did. So they were able to use Quicksilver and then they had to kill him off. Which I guess makes sense because Evan Peters does an amazing job as Quicksilver. At that point, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, Skrulls. So yeah, Skrulls, shape-shifting aliens. This could play a big role in, MCU movies, coming out in the future, because now there's that possibility of who's a current Marvel character, who's a current MCU character that could possibly be a Skrull. I mean, my money's on Nick Fury, because in this movie he comes off as someone who's very kind of a goofball. And then later on in the MCU, he's just a very stern, hard-ass, motherfucker. So is he is Nick Fury a Skrull? I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for him to be a Skrull this whole time and be helping out the Avengers. Or is he someone else? I don't know. We'll find out in this movie. There's 2 post-credit scenes, and one of them apparently has to do with Endgame, which is like, gasp. Someone, I guess, alluded to that one of the post-credits scenes might feature Doctor Strange. Because Samuel Jackson made the comment that Captain Marvel can apparently time travel, which I think in the comics she can't time travel, but in this movie she can time travel. Which would explain how she gets into Endgame, but then again, why did Nick Fury send a Paige to her? I don't know, we're all gonna fucking find out in this movie because, like, where has this bitch been this whole time? Like, where has she been this whole time? It's like, Michonne said in, Infinity War, where has she been this whole time? That was a bad Wakandan accent, I'm sorry. We're all going to find out March 8th, which we're going March 7th, by the way. We always go Thursday before. Again, Trolls. Trolls always doing the role. Just, I don't know if it's DC fans or just people that don't like Brie Larson because she made those comments about, I guess, not having so many white men at, movie premieres. Which, it was kind of a weird comment, but I looked at it, and what she was really trying to say was we need more diversity at movie premieres, because you go to a movie premiere and you see a lot of white men. It's better to be more diverse. And she's not saying that she hates all white people, because I think her husband or her fiance or boyfriend or whatever is white. And she's white, so I don't think Brie Larson hates all white people. I think what she was trying to say, and she ended up saying it was, I want more diversity at these press junkets. And, that's good. I'm all for diversity. I have no problem with diversity. I love diversity. I have a Mexican girlfriend. I have my two closest friends are black. I'm half Iranian, so I'm all good with diversity. I love diversity. Some people like to take it a little bit too far, but who am I to judge? Yeah, I have no problem with what she said, or I have no problem with this movie. I'm looking forward to it, just like with any other Marvel movie. Granted, I'm not jumping out of my seat to see to really know what this movie's about, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it. I'm a Marvel nerd. All right, what else do we have going on in the news? I just watched the new trailer for Us. It looks fucking terrifying. It looks so good. Like, there's only been 2 trailers for it, including the one they just put out, which is the international trailer. They're focusing a lot. This movie's going to go hard on horror. And, Jordan Peele, who did Get Out, does this. Get Out to me wasn't scary. It was psychological. This movie is going to be psychological too, but Get Out wasn't really a scary movie. It was more about psychological and it's scary to know what people think. But that wasn't really scary. It wasn't really a scary movie. It was a good movie. I like it. Us looks like it's going to be straight up horror. It looks like it's going to be terrifying as fuck. There's really no way to know what this movie's about until you actually watch it. The only thing I can get from it is that it's about doppelgangers. This family of 4. It's a black family, and yes, I said black family. Fucking SJW douches. They're driving to a getaway with their friends, and then at their beach house, they find a family standing in their driveway, and it ends up being them. Who are they? It's us. There's a little boy wearing a mask, and when he takes it off, he has his mouth is sealed shut, literally sealed shut. And then there's the wife, Lupita Nyong'o. I like that. I like her, by the way. She's a very good actress. She seems like she's very cool. And you got I don't know how to say his name. I don't know his real name. I forgot. M'Baku from Black Panther. And then you got the daughter, which I don't know who that is. And then her doppelganger is creepy as fuck. Something about like creepy kids in horror movies when they smile, it just creeps me out. So I don't know what the point of this movie is, but I want to see it. It looks fucking good. It comes out literally the week after Black Panther. Not Black Panther. well, Lupita and M'Baku were in Black Panther. That's kind of funny the way you look at it. Black Panther dies, and M'Baku steals his girlfriend. He steals his girlfriend and his throne. But not Black Panther. Captain Marvel comes out literally the week after Captain Marvel. Which we're going to see that, by the way. It looks fucking dope. It's weird about Jordan Peele. It's just, and I was listening to an episode of Frank and Gus, which you can find on Patreon on Wrestling Soup's page for just $5. And it's weird because I never listened to this episode before because I usually listen to every episode, and by usually I mean I do. Anytime there's a new episode, I listen to it, and for some reason I don't remember listening to this episode. I think it popped up, and I was like, "Oh, I'll download this real quick," and I didn't end up downloading it. I don't know, but it's from last week, I believe. And, Mish kind of brought up a good point, was, Jordan Peele is going to be hosting the new Twilight Zone, which is going to be on CBS. And it looks interesting. I was too young to remember, the Twilight Zone. I remember, the remake they made with that Forrest Whitaker, and I just remember thinking it was dumb as fuck. Yeah, this one, Jordan Peele, he kind of brought up the whole, thing about, comedians or comedic actors or just people who've done comedy for the longest time. It's not always easy for them to do drama, and he's right. Not everybody can be Jim Carrey, not everybody can be Robin Williams. It seems like it's easier for dramatic actors to do comedy. For comedic actors, it's different because all you see is that role they used to play. I know Will Ferrell has kind of tinkered with that, doing some drama or some, less of the wild man comedy. And then you got, trying to think of some. Adam Sandler's tried to do it a few times, which Adam Sandler's actually a pretty good actor. He's done a couple dramatic films. He did Spanglish, which I think is actually one of my personal favorites. It's a very good movie. He did another movie with Don Cheadle. I'm forgetting what the fuck it's called. Where, he plays a widow. That is, his family died in 9/11. So he's been homeless ever since. He was actually pretty good in that. I've never seen Punch Drunk Love. So yeah, Adam Sandler does... When he does drama, he's actually pretty good. But I think he's even admitted that, the reason why he doesn't do as much drama is because they don't draw in the big bucks, Shockingly enough, his really bad comedy films. And by really bad, I mean just the ones he's done later in life. I think the last good comedy that he did was Mr. Deeds. Anything after that has been shit, and for some reason they still make money. So that's the reason why he still does comedy, is because it makes money. He doesn't do as much drama because it doesn't make money. Even though he gets good reviews from critics, he would prefer to just stick to comedy, which, I can't blame him. If it makes money, do it. But no one's going to pay a shit ton of money to watch drama. Or they're not going to pay a shit ton of money to watch, English. I had a point with this. Where the fuck was I going? Oh, yeah, comedic actors doing drama. Jordan Peele, it's weird because I remember when the first trailer for Get Out happened. I remember, because I never even knew anything about it. I never even heard of Get Out. And usually with horror movies and with movies in general, I'm always very up to date on what's going to come out. I'll usually scour the internet and, see a title and read the plot and go, oh, that looks interesting. I had to fucking find out on Facebook and see the trailer for Get Out. And I just remember thinking, what is this? This looks fucked up. This looks pretty interesting. And then out of nowhere, from the mind of Jordan Peele. Wait, what? From the mind of Jordan Peele, as in Key and Peele? And then sure enough, I look on IMDb. Jordan Peele. Which, and I just, listen to interviews with him. He's like, oh yeah, for the longest time I've always been a fan of horror movies, and I love horror movies. I've been writing Get Out since 2000 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, nice to just let us know, right now. But, yeah, those two dudes, King and Michael Keegan? And then Jordan Peele, they've, post King Peele, post Mad TV, they've had pretty good careers. I know Keegan He was on a show on Netflix that just got canceled. I never watched it. I think it was a show about college or something. And then he's on Whose Line's Anyway. He'll occasionally be on Whose Line. Which I love that show, by the way. I still go back and watch old episodes and they still make me laugh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Jordan Peele seems like the type of guy. He seems like he's going to be like a Quentin Tarantino type of director where he releases a film like every 2 years. Like almost every 2 to 3 years. And then he'll just release a trailer for something. He's not going to tell you what the fuck it's about. It's just going to be a trailer of just things happening, and you're trying to guess in your mind, what the fuck is this movie about? Because I literally have no clue what Us is going to be about. I just know it looks fucking terrifying. And I'm going to love it. Okay, what else is going on in the news? I'm just scouring the interwebs. A new trailer. A new trailer for Detective Pikachu came out today, and it shows more Pokemon in it. The one thing, and it shows fucking Mewtwo. For the first time, we get a live-action Mewtwo. And I was pumped for that, because I love Mewtwo. Mewtwo's my favorite. Never a fan of Mew. I'm more of a Mewtwo guy. It looks... This is a movie. It can either be it's either going to be really bad or really good. It looks like it's going to be really good. I have a feeling it's going to be really good because it has an interesting storyline. The whole point is about it involves Pokemon and it involves crime at the same time. It involves it's like a detective story and it's a criminal investigation. I'm a criminal justice major, so that hits home to me. I love it. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is voicing Pikachu, which you can't go wrong with that because Ryan Reynolds, he seems like the most likable guy in Hollywood. Nobody can say a bad word about Ryan Reynolds. I mean, Green Lantern, but as far as like a guy, like a personal standpoint, I don't think anyone can say a bad word about Ryan Reynolds. He just seems like the most likable guy in Hollywood. Next to Hugh Jackman. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna watch it. I will watch it with or without my girlfriend. Oh shit. I think I'm about to sneeze. Oh no, I had a burp. It looks like it's going to be really good. In my opinion. It's either going to be really cheesy or... I mean, it's Pokemon. You kind of have to be a little cheesy. There's no way you can make Pokemon serious. I mean, you can. At the same time, there's that cheesy factor that kind of creeps in, and there's no way you can avoid it. Which, I mean, that doesn't bother me. I mean, I'll admit Pokemon's cheesy as fuck, but I fucking love it. And you can make it dark and cheesy. That's the way you look at it. If you played the first game, it was kind of dark. Because, especially the whole storyline about Cubone. The storyline about Cubone is that he wears the skull on his face to remember his mother, because Team Rocket killed his mother, which was Marowak. Like, they literally killed his mother. Like, not just like... oh, we're going to euthanize you. Like, no, they fucking kill her. They tase her. They taser her to death. Like, that was fucking dark. Like, this is for kids. And then later on, they decided to make the games more upbeat for kid-friendly, like, audiences, I guess. Sorry, I'm just biting my fingernails. This is a bad habit. I need to kick it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it launches a much bigger universe. I mean, it kind of has to be successful. I mean, look at Venom, and Venom was... At the end of the day, Venom was not a very good film. But yet they're still launching a sequel to it, which they're going to start the sequel in November. Or start shooting for the sequel in November. And they're doing Morbius the Living Vampire with Jared Leto, which they haven't announced when they're going to shoot that. They're supposedly doing a Kraven the Hunter movie with Antoine Fuqua, who's done Training Day and The Equalizer, to direct that. What'd be funny is if you got Denzel Washington to play fucking Kraven the Hunter. That would be fucking interesting. I mean, I'm not trying to be one of those SJWs. It's like, let's make him black. It's like, it would be interesting because Denzel Washington has never done a comic book movie. Not once. I mean, he's said in interviews he's never been invited. It's not because he doesn't want to do it. It's just because he's never been invited, which I'm just like, why is Marvel Studios or DC not called this guy? Do you like Denzel Washington as a superhero, as a supervillain? That would be fucking dope. He can play evil too. He's played a bad guy before. He can play a hero too. I mean, I don't know who he could play now. I mean, maybe Blue Marvel. That would be fucking dope. Denzel Washington as Blue Marvel. Make that happen. What else is going on in the world of media? Are you kidding me? And I guess that's it. There's really nothing else I can... As far as like the entertainment world is concerned, there's really nothing else I have on my plate. I guess I can go into what happened on Raw. I wasn't able to watch Raw. I saw the clips. I didn't get to see most of the matches. Basically, we'll just talk about the two biggest highlights of the night, which was, first of all, Roman Reigns coming out announcing that he is in remission. That his, in his words, I'm in remission, y'all. Which I thought was pretty good. I remember I watched the speech. He comes out and he, talks about his shirt. Apparently, the shirt he's releasing, which is, I think it says like, Stay Strong or something. Hold on, let me look that up real quick. Okay. Annie Dana. Okay, we fight, we overcome, we believe. That's a pretty nice shirt. Supposedly, I don't think his shirt is gonna donate money to leukemia research, from what I heard. But it is what it is. But yeah, he comes out. The whole place goes. He gets a huge baby face pop, like a huge one, which I'm fine with. I mean, did you honestly think the crowd was gonna boo him? I don't get what's going on with people. It's just there's honestly people that are out there that are trying to allude to that his leukemia was a work. Like, come on, there's no way you can think that. Somebody tried to say, "Oh, he beat cancer in 4 months." Yeah, you don't beat cancer. There's no way you cannot beat cancer, like at all. That's why he said remission. He was able to kind of keep it dormant. It will come back. You won't know when, you won't know how, but it will come back. But as of right now, it's in remission, and he's back. I can't really imagine what his role is going to be right now, because I did see that run-in he did with Seth to save Dean, and Roman looked like he was really he looked like he was gassed, like he was just out of it and really winded. Which is, I'm hoping they don't have him wrestle for, I'd say, like, have him appear, but don't have him wrestle too much. As a matter of fact, don't have him wrestle at all until he's actually, like, 100% ready. He needs to get back in ring shape. Because, my girlfriend, saw the promo he did, and she noticed that he has bags under his eyes. You go through all the chemotherapy, the dude's supposed to be 33, he's going to feel like he's 53 by the time he's done with all that shit. And supposedly it was his idea to come back. Supposedly it was his idea to return, because I guess he felt like he was ready to return. Which, you can't fault a guy for that. Would I put it past WWE for Vince saying, we need you back? No. But, if Roman says he was ready to come back, I guess he was ready. But comes back, it's a huge pop from the crowd, which, that was expected. You're going to boo a guy who's a cancer survivor. Later on the night, or after the promo, he goes over the ramp, Seth comes out and braces him. Later in the night, they save Dean from Bobby Lashley, Elias, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin, and then they pretty much leave Dean in the ring, and Dean's just looking back at Roman, like, hey, it's good to have you back. And Roman and Seth are looking at him like, yeah, we still hate you. Like, okay. Obviously, the Shield's gonna form. I mean, if Dean is seriously leaving, then they're gonna have like a Shield formation before he leaves. Or maybe Roman and Seth can convince him to stay, which, with Roman back, maybe Dean will stay. Maybe that's the reason why he wanted to leave, was because, Roman was leaving and he didn't think he was going to be back anytime soon. And, if you watch, like, the ride-along WWE videos, or the ride-along WWE series, you can tell that Dean and Roman are, like, super close, that they're, the whole Shield thing is not just a gimmick. I mean, it is a gimmick, but in real life, those three dudes are really close. And Dean loves Roman. That's his best friend. They're close. They ride together. Pretty sure they know each other's families. They're literally brothers. It's like the Riot Squad. They're all close. They're all like sisters. The Shield are literally brothers. It's not just a gimmick. It's it's real life. They're real brothers. I'm glad to see Roman back. I just hope his character is going into a different direction. I hope they're not going back to how things used to be. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't a Roman Reigns fan. I'm not going to pretend that I am. I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad to see the guy was able to conquer something that was just terrible, that should never happen to anyone. And he's back, which is great, but I want to see him entertain me. I want to see him be a different Roman Reigns. I've always said about Roman Reigns, the guy looks like a badass. He looks like he can be a badass. But why are they trying to build him up like he's John Cena? John Cena is John Cena. Those cornball lines that John Cena likes to use on the crowd, that only works for John Cena. It doesn't work for Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns tries to go out there and be a goofball like John Cena. It doesn't work. So let Roman Reigns be a badass. And I've always said, make him like Wolverine from the X-Men. Let him go out there and be this badass who doesn't talk a lot and just wants to beat the shit out of people. Like, let him do that. Like, build him up like that. Instead, they insist that he goes out there and does talky-talky. So, I hope I'm going to see a different Roman Reigns from this. I really hope I do. Because I like the guy's work. He's not a terrible wrestler. He's a very good wrestler. But, he needs to have a different character. That's just my opinion. And then the second big news out of Raw was that Batista made his return to the WWE at the end of Ric Flair's birthday party. Basically, what happened was that Triple H brought all his guests. He brought Sting. He brought out whomever, I forget who else. Sting, Ricky Steamboat, and who the fuck else? Kurt Angle, I think. And they're waiting for Ric Flair, and all of a sudden you see Batista drag a cameraman and bust into Ric Flair's dressing room. He supposedly beats up Ric Flair and drags him out. Looks into the camera and tells Triple H, have I got your attention now? Huh? I don't know. I mean, it's not funny, but I just like when he says, huh? Huh? Triple H runs to the back, checks on Ric Flair, and then they have to go to Temptation Island or whatever fucking crap show they have in USA Network. I agree with Don, because Don Tony had a good point. Now they're going to now they're not going to do an extra 15 minutes of Raw, which it's good, but if you're trying to build up a storyline like this, it would have been more interesting if you added like maybe seven extra minutes, five or seven extra minutes. I agree with Don Tony on that. And I don't think he was complaining. He even said, I liked Raw. Raw was very good, but it could have been better. You could have added more suspension. You could have added more, suspension of disbelief. You could have added more mystery to the end of this segment, especially if you're trying to build up a WrestleMania match between Batista and Triple H. Those 5 or 7 extra minutes would have been interesting as fuck. So... Yeah, the rumored match since I think last year was that Batista wanted to have a retirement match against Triple H, and supposedly this was announced in November after that Crown Jewel, mega show. Triple H supposedly, injured himself, and the talk was that he was going to be out of Mania. So, I don't know how this match is going to go down. I mean, is he 100%? I mean, was the injury not as bad as we thought it would be? Is, Triple H still training to get into ring shape for this match? I don't know, but Batista and Triple H and Mania, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't want to see this match. I want to see Batista fight someone else. I don't know who else he could possibly fight. Maybe, who the fuck else could he fight? Maybe Roman Reigns? I'm just throwing names. Maybe Roman Reigns comes out and says, I don't like that you attack Rick, bitch. I'm just playing. He's not gonna do that. But I don't know. Roman Reigns versus Batista. Maybe that could be interesting. But the way it looks is gonna be Triple H and Batista. So Batista's a heel. I mean, I like Batista as a heel. It works because, he's a good babyface, but he's always said he hates being a babyface. He prefers to be a heel. But now you got Triple H as a face, which, why is he all of a sudden a face? I mean, he disrespected the man, Becky Lynch, a couple weeks ago, and had her suspended. Well, actually, Vince did. But now he's supposed to be a face because Ric Flair got attacked. And I remember my girlfriend's sister made a good point. It's like, look, I attacked a 70-year-old man. I'm a badass. It's like, you kind of make a good point. So, does this mean Batista's going to be a regular on the show until Mania? Like, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm glad Dave is back. I enjoyed that ending. It was a very good ending. Like I said, it would have been better if it was longer, like DT said. But yeah, Batista versus Triple H. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. If they make the match like a no disqualification match, I think that would benefit it more. But we haven't seen Batista in a wrestling ring or wrestle in a match for 5 years. So I mean, he looks like he's in great shape. I mean, it's shocking because Triple H and fucking Batista are literally the same age. They were both born in the same year. I think Batista's like a couple months older than him, but they're literally from the same year, and Batista looks like far better than Triple H. Batista aged better. I mean, granted, he's in Hollywood, and you have to age better if you want to be in Hollywood, but that's just weird that they're both literally the same age. I mean, I don't have doubts that Batista can't go out there and not wrestle or not have a good match. I don't know. I guess I'm tired of seeing Triple H and everything. I want to see a different match, in my opinion. I mean, I don't just want to see Batista come back and wrestle Triple H and leave. I want to see Batista stick around for a bit. It'd be interesting to see him stick around, especially since you have the Fox deal coming up with WWE. Having Batista stick around and, maybe he'll put over the young guys or whatever. It'd be interesting to see him if he does stick around, or give him one last title run. Have him go against Brock, since that's what they want to do. They want to have their quote unquote dream matches. Him against Brock, I think, is something that's long overdue. It'd be the best example of having two part-timers wrestle against each other, because we've never seen those two wrestle. Because when you look at them, they're kind of similar. I think Brock's a little bit more athletic than Batista. He has an athletic background. Batista's more of a power, a destroyer, a killer. So, like, the dream scenario is have him go out there and wrestle in a fucking in a last man standing match. Like, that would be pretty fucking interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, and I came across this interview that Batista did for TampaBay.com, and in it he talks about being compared to The Rock and John Cena, which he hates. He apparently hates. He says he hates being compared to Cena and The Rock, as they are an elite group of WWE stars who made the successful transition from being a pro wrestler to an actor in Hollywood. Do not compare me to The Rock or John Cena. Everyone does it. Those guys are wrestlers who became movie stars. I'm something else. Something else. I was a wrestler, now I'm an actor. Batista also made some interesting comments about Johnson, who's a future WWE Hall of Famer, will go down as one of the greatest wrestlers to ever step foot inside the squared circle. He wants to be his own person, not be in the same line as The Rock. The Rock was, in a way, a movie star before he was even a movie star. There is something about him that's really special. I never take that away from him. Batista says, would I consider him a great actor? Fuck no. It gets interesting. Batista would continue by bringing up how he wants good roles that don't have to be movies as Fast and Furious or Bumblebee. Instead, he wants to work with Academy Award winners and be a character actor that is well respected. I want good roles. I don't care about Fast and Furious or Bumblebee. That's not the kind of stardom I want. I want to be in Dune. I want to work with Denis Villeneuve. I want to work with Sam Mendes and Jodie Foster. I want to work with Academy Award winners. I'm proud to be a character actor. I want that respect and credibility and education. And then he apparently talks more about wrestling, his tattoos, politics, and much more, which I'm not really going to get into. I mean, I don't have a problem with what he said because, everyone has a preference. I'm not going to judge people for having a preference. I love The Rock. The Rock, you put The Rock in anything, it's going to sell tickets and people are going to see it. But The Rock doesn't really do a lot of good movies. Like, he's become that quintessential action star that just does crappy movies. He was in that Skyscraper movie, which I didn't see, but it looked like a piece of shit. He was in Jumanji, which I heard was pretty good. The thing about The Rock is that I think he has the tangibles to be a good actor. I don't know if he's intimidated by, trying different roles, or if he just chooses to take on these action roles. And there's no shame in that. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with making these big blockbuster films, but I think The Rock can challenge himself if he really wants to. Same thing with John Cena. I'm not gonna tell John Cena stop doing all these lame movies. Stop doing Bumblebee and star in this off-Broadway play with Shia LaBeouf. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll do what you tell me. It's like, no, Cena and Rock can do whatever the hell they want, and they're both being successful post-WWE, and that's good, because, a lot of wrestlers back in the day never had that option. They always thought wrestling was the only way out. And, guys like The Rock and Jericho to a degree, and then you got Cena, who are doing their own thing. Batista. Yeah, remember Batista's a dude from the streets of DC. He's a very brutally honest guy. So for him to come out and say, I'm not interested in doing those type of movies. I want to do something different. I want to do something that makes me stand out from guys like The Rock and Cena. Good for him. And he did Guardians of the Galaxy, and originally, a lot of his lines that he has as Drax were not supposed to be original. He was apparently that fucking good in his audition that James Gunn wrote, extra lines for him, specifically for him. And he was probably one of the best parts of the movie, because you didn't expect that out of Batista. And then he does more movies, like he was in the Blade Runner sequel, which I didn't see, but I heard it was good. And you got Spectre, which he played a Bond villain. He was in Hotel Artemis. Again, I never saw that. It looked interesting. I wanted to see it. And he's in the Dune remake. So, for him to have a preference to say, yeah, those movies are cool, but I want to do something different. I want people to see me in a different way, because, you see a guy like Dave Bautista, it's like, oh, he can just play a badass in a action movie. It's like, well, I can't act, though. I can't act, I can do a film like this. I can do an independent film where I can play a serious role. I don't need to always play the same old stereotypical professional wrestler role. And I respect Batista for that, because he's actually a very good actor. If he wants to try these roles, like Dune, let him try it. Let Batista do whatever the fuck he wants. The guy's 50. He has a dick ton of money. Let him do whatever the fuck he wants. He's worked his ass off to get where he is in Hollywood. So, let the man do what he wants. For him to say that The Rock can't act, I'll agree to disagree. The Rock can act. It's just, I don't think he tests himself. I think if he were given the right role, he can knock it out of the park. He's just played too many of these goofy action movie roles and these stereotypical roles. I mean, he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood, but go figure. Moving on to Smackdown. I was trying to find a link to watch Smackdown. I don't have cable, so I'm only able to watch Smackdown through Twitch and this other TV app I have. Basically what happened to begin the show was that Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan come out. He's about to sign his contract to face him at Fastlane. Vince McMahon comes out and says, I want the best show possible, so, Kofi Kingston's not getting a title shot, and he brings out Kevin Owens, who came back, and Kevin Owens will face Daniel Bryan at Fastlane, which kind of begs the question, what are they going to do with Kofi? It's obvious they want to give Kofi his Mania moment. Kofi's, on a hot streak right now, and, I don't think he was ever going to win at Fastlane, but you want to give him his moment at Mania. And now's the perfect time. Why solely his moment at a pay-per-view in the middle of March that nobody cares about? As opposed to giving him his big moment at Mania. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, could he win? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he's on a hot streak, and if you're going to give him his moment at Mania, you might I don't see why you wouldn't let him win. But then again, I said this on the Elimination Chamber post show. WWE has this knack for having these huge moments, but then they underwhelm the audience because it's like, yay, this amazing moment happened, and then a week later, it's like, oh, the audience doesn't care. In Kofi's case, I mean, I think it'd be different because Kofi can work. He's a good talker. The audience loves him. The audience is always like Kofi. It's just, he kind of got put into a good situation, and they somehow let him go. They let him go out there and wrestle for an hour on that gauntlet match, and they let him beat Daniel Bryan, and then they had him almost win the title at Elimination Chamber. He's been busting his ass for 11 years. I love Kofi Kingston. I don't think he'll win. Even if he is, facing Daniel Bryan at Mania, I don't think he'll win. Just personally. We've always said between the three guys in the New Day, Big E has the better upside because he has the look, he has the talent, and he can talk. So does Kofi, but, Big E is more so somebody that WWE is looking for more. And, Kofi doesn't look like a long-term champion. The guy's 37, I believe. He's nearing 40. Their whole thing now is that they want, new, fresh, young faces, which they're bringing all these NXT guys. So, I don't know. I mean, supposedly the idea is that Big E cost him the match somehow. But, the New Day has gone on to say, if they try to break us up, we'll leave the company. Which I think is bullshit, by the way. If that happens, goodbye to up, down, down for Xavier Woods. So, I don't think they'll leave WWE. They have to break up sometime. The New Day shtick is kind of getting old. I mean, the whole thing with pancakes, I don't understand that. The whole Bootios thing, But, yeah, they've been around for 4 years. I think now is kind of the perfect time to break them apart. Cause some dissension between Big E and Kofi. Have Big E attack Kofi and cost him his match, and then say, why were you putting this match and not me? It's supposed to be me, and then you had to do what you always do and take everything away from me. There you go. That's how you break up the New Day. And what you do with Xavier Woods. I think Xavier Woods is destined to be either a manager or an announcer. He can be a really good announcer, in my opinion. And then Big E just be the breakout star and have Kofi be the guy that just goes out there and has really good matches with everybody. NXT guys. They advertised Johnny Gargano versus Cesaro. But I don't know if they forgot or if they just decided to make a last minute change. because it ended up being the Bar versus the Hardy Boys. Matt Hardy came back, who he looks good. He looks better than he's ever been. Teams with Jeff, and they beat the Bar, which that pissed me off because I was actually looking forward to Gargano and Cesaro, but I don't know why they canceled at the last minute. They had Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Nakamura and Rusev. Match was what it was. Rusev and Ricochet won over. I believe Aleister Black is officially moving up to the main roster. I'm not. I'm assuming it's after Takeover, the next Takeover that's coming up, because he said his goodbye at a recent NXT event, and WrestleMania is coming up pretty soon. It's coming up in like a month, and he's more than likely gonna work it while being on the main roster. And I don't know. I think these NXT guys being on the show is gonna be like a recurring thing to kind of keep the ratings up or keep people's interest in. Because we assumed it was going to be a one-time deal, but lately it's, that's been proven to be, false. And they've been coming out more than once. Which is good. I just wish, I hope they're not doing tag matches. I would rather, see them being in singles matches, seeing better matchups. What else happened in the show? Let's see what else happened. Yeah, the main event was Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. Kevin Owens and Kofi went over. Kevin Owens did a Stone Cold Stunner to Daniel Bryan, which I guess is his new finishing move. Pins Daniel Bryan, and Kevin Owens is supposedly a babyface, supposedly. And he'll be facing Daniel Bryan at Fastlane, which I don't know if that match is going to change again next week. I don't know if they're going to add Kofi to the mix, or I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And that's the one thing I've said a while back, is that I'm glad I don't know what's going to happen, because since last year we already knew what the Universal title match was going to be. We already knew it was going to be Becky and Ronda and Charlotte. We already knew that. We don't know what the WWE title picture is going to be, and I'm glad with that. I just wish to God I knew what they were going to do with Asuka. Jesus, they had made her an afterthought. I hate to say it, but she's kind of become yesterday's news. And yeah, that was SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown was okay. I usually enjoy SmackDown better than Raw. I mean, SmackDown's more the action show. Raw is the soap opera. Again, hopefully they can kind of build off that, that momentum from this week to next week. I want these shows to do better. So, I mean, this show apparently got a 3.0. Mainly have to do with, Roman returning. Let's see what they can do with that. And let's hope they don't fuck it up like they usually do. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to talk. That's pretty much everything I had on the plate. What else can I talk about? That's pretty much it. I'm just gonna do my plugs and head on out of here. Alright, Wrestling Soup. You can find them on they're on Mixlr every 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern Time every Thursday. So go to their Patreon page, just for $5 you get all this cool shit. Gold Blogging with John Draper as well. Awesome show. And then Side Salad with Draper and Mish. And then you got the Fag Show which is I guess their spin-off of Wrestling Soup with Joey and Mish. Don Tony Kevin Castle Show. Find them on Mixlr after Raw every Monday at 10:15 Central Time, 11:15 Eastern. Also head over to their Patreon just for $5. You can get Breakfast Soup with DT and Mish, Castle Chronicles with Kevin, and then Dark Chronicles with Kevin and Trez, who's a very good friend of the show. She's healing from her accident a couple months ago. She's doing better from when she told me. So she's a very good friend of the show. Shout out to Trez. Texas Podcast Massacre. If you're a fan of horror movies, these guys, this is the show for you. These guys do an amazing job. Mitch, Nate, and Lisa. They review bad horror movies, so it's like watching bad horror movies with your friends and you're making commentary about it the whole time. These guys are fucking awesome. I was on the show last year. We reviewed Insidious. I'm hoping to come back on again. They say I'm more than welcome to come back. We're just not. We're just trying to. They're just trying to work with my schedule, trying to work with their schedule. I hope I'll come back pretty soon. Julian from the Wrestling Court. He just had a new episode that came out. They're on. I believe they're on Thursdays before Wrestling Soup, if I'm not mistaken. What else? Architect Podcast with Derek and his friend, who I seem to not remember his name at all. I feel like a dick. I'm sorry. They just had a new episode that came out. I haven't listened to it. I'll listen to it whenever I get the chance. They talk about, I talk about nerdy stuff. They talk about more shit than I do. They talk about video games, conventions, whatnot. It's a very good show. Listen to it. I highly recommend it. I'm not just saying that because he's a friend. I'm saying it because he's very good. What's another podcast? My friend Peter with his Bops and Bangers podcast. They just revealed that because the podcast was supposed to start in the beginning of March, and something happened, and him and his friend just revealed that there's a new release date, and I have it right here. It is... Oh, shit, I think they took it down. I think it was like April 25th. It was like April something. Damn it, Peter, why'd you do that? Okay, April 5th, there you go. April 5th with Peter and Melanie. So look for that. I'm assuming it's where all podcasts are found. I won't know. I'll have to ask Peter about it. And what else? That's pretty much it. I'll edit and upload this episode as fast as I can. I'll more than likely release it at midnight, or I might just release it in the morning. It's on Spreaker and pretty much everywhere else podcasts can be found: Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio, and also YouTube. And that is about it. I will be back next week. I don't know if I'll do an extra show out of the week this week. Usually that happens if I have something going on in the week. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening every week. And I highly suggest you guys send in any questions that you might have for me. Leave them on my Twitter if you follow me. Yeah, that's about it. All right, take care, guys. Later.